I don't think they'll get together. Like, I don't know what plans Brian and Mike have.
Find your balance with a special excerpt from the Avatar Brave New Elements podcast.
Featuring our guest, Faith Erin Hicks.
Who do you ship?
Yeah, I was a little nervous when I saw this question. Honestly, like I like Sokka and Toph. Like, I just think they're so cute.
Yeah,
And with apologies to Suki, I don't think they'll get together. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I have no plans. I don't know what plans Brian and Mike have. Like, I don't predict them getting together, but I absolutely think Toph has a crush on Sokka.
She does. And you see it in this season more than anything.
Yeah.
I think you see it in this season a lot, especially the few episodes coming up. You see
I think they're very cute.
Toph.
They're
and
extremely
like,
cute.
if you read Imbalance, there's a couple scenes where Toph like punches Sokka on the shoulder, and that was my way of having her show affection to him.
I love it. You're like, speaking of limitations, like, okay, can I get away with like a friendly, loving pat on the shoulder, punch on the shoulder, with a little wink to the fans out there who also ship them? Amazing.
Yeah.
Sokka gets all the girls. Sokka gets all the girls.
I mean,
He's very cute.
Who doesn't love that guy?
He was absolutely a funny guy.
Yeah, he was absolutely my TV boyfriend when I was watching the show. I was like, that's for me. That guy right there.
Yes.
Sokka gets all the girls.
Sorry, Dante.
Sokka.
I was not a Zuko girl.
It's okay, Faith.
He's very
it's
brooding.
okay.
Very
Sokka's
brooding.
my homie, it's good.
Yeah.
My boy gets all the girls, but what am I going to say?
Yeah.
That's rough, buddy.
That's rough.
Exactly. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Exactly right. Exactly right.
The big question, Faith, in the Avatarverse, what kind of bender would you be?
Yeah, I think I'd be an earthbender. Like, again,
Shout out
probably
to Earth
comes. Yeah, probably my affection for Toph there again, but I really love season 2. I love when the gang goes and explores the Earth Kingdom. I just think
Book of Earth, of course.
Yeah, I just think the culture is really interesting. I love the stories that are set in Ba Sing Se, and I love the idea of being able to chuck rocks.
That's cool.
Yep.
I mean,
Simple
good
as
people
that.
out there in the Earth Kingdom. Good people in the Earth Kingdom.
That's right. That's right.
Some very good
Thank
people.
you. Thank
Strong
you for that,
people.
Dante.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. Are we ready to jump in, you guys?
Yeah, but do you want to just remind us where we are, just in case anybody's like jumping in.
Before we jump in, let's talk about what happened before the Panda Lady episode, which we're about to discuss. A quick look back of what happened is basically we just watched the headband, which we discussed with the episode writer, our pal John O'Brien, giving us the inside track on things. Team Avatar disguised himself as Fire Nation kids, leading Aang to end up in school, which ultimately resulted in the gang throwing a secret dance party a la Footloose-ish vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And with that said, what can we look forward to in this week's episode?
Well, first of all, I just want to take this opportunity to point out my Painted Lady shirt. I believe this was another fan winner from Box Lunch that like Mike and Brian had a hand, or Brian had a hand in choosing. But I love my Painted Lady shirt. We
Beautiful.
see, obviously, that there is this very special spirit who is represented by one of our gang in the process of the gang coming across this village that is dealing with a serious pollution problem, unfortunately courtesy of the Fire Nation Army, and then Katara decides that she wants to participate. So that's really what the episode is about. It's incredibly environmentally conscious. It's got a great message. It was written by our buddy Josh Hamilton, directed by our other buddy Ethan Spalding, and let's get into it. Dante, you want to start us off?
Let's go. This episode opens with Team Avatar making its way down what I think we can all agree is a pretty mucky river. There's no flying happening here. Appa is slowly swimming through the water, which at first Aang seems to have no problem playing in. It's pretty disgusting. I was like, what's going on? Until he slowly comes to the realization that he's basically been swimming in sludge. Pulling a classic Aang airbending technique, he just kind of airbends everything off himself and onto his friends, by the way. Everyone agrees that the polluted river is a problem, including Sokka, who can't catch any fish. They're going to have to deviate from Sokka's master plan to find some other source of food, but luckily they happen upon a small fishing village in the middle of this mucky river. Unfortunately, this means Appa and Momo are relegated to becoming hills. Just kind of funny.
Not a whole lot with Appa and Momo in some of these episodes.
Yeah,
of the Fire
just take
Nation.
a little
They're
nap
harder
underneath.
to hide. Yeah.
I know. You got to hide those earthbending animals. Anyway, they meet an old dude named Doc. And if it helps, you can see the spelling of his name. Get it? They're on a dock. And they meet
yeah. All
Doc,
right.
who takes them from the shore to the village while explaining that the Fire Nation army opened a factory nearby to make their metal for warfare. And surprise, surprise, it has had a devastating effect on the environment around it. The village is now struggling to survive, and we see just how bad things have gotten in the faces of the villagers. Katara wants to help them, but Sokka is trying to be more utilitarian and stay on task. They buy some pretty nasty looking fish from a guy who looks suspiciously like Doc, but now his name is Shu, and he has a different hat on. And we think it's Doc's brother for about 30 seconds before we realize it is Doc with a different hat on. But before we can ponder what's going on there, a small boy asked Katara for some food, and they bought 3 fish, and then she gave him one of her fish to take to a sickly woman, which was very sad. But even that fish looked pretty dirty. All that food looked dirty. Great. Very rough, buddy. That's very rough, scene. That whole area.
It's a bad scene. It's super sad. And so we see that Katara and Toph can clean the water that they're using to cook with through waterbending and earthbending, which is great. Obviously, that's not something that can work for the entire village. But Sokka's stressing out about this tight schedule that they're trying to keep in order to get the Fire Lord during the eclipse, which we now learn, and I feel like this is a tossed away, but did we know that the eclipse only lasts 8 minutes? I guess we must have, but that felt somehow like new information to me in the moment. I was like, 8 minutes? Okay, right. All right. That's not very much time. And they're going to have to make up time to get back on track. But think again, because the next morning, Appa seems very sick. It's probably a good time to mention that Sokka doesn't get to be a very sympathetic character during most of this episode. I'm so sorry, Sokka, but he's a taskmaster in this episode. Not a lot of empathy going on. Anyway, Appa's tongue is this weird purple color. We don't know if the pollution did that to him. So the gang heads into the village to try to find him some medicine. And when they get there, the villagers seem much more like very spirited and happy. And the gang finds out that this mysterious painted lady delivered them food last night. They find out she's a river spirit who watches over the town during times of need. And Sokka is like, great, cool. This is perfect, actually. We don't have to worry about these guys because the painted lady's got them covered. But there's no medicine for Appa, right? So they're still going to have to stay another night. And then this night, we actually get to see the painted lady float across the river to the village. It's very mysterious. It's very beautiful. She appears to be creating some sort of healing energy, like a blue light, maybe for the sick villagers or something vaguely familiar about what's going on. The little boy wakes up and sees her and thanks her before she disappears again. But we do catch a glimpse of the spirit's face, and it does look a little bit like someone we know. Yeah, interesting. And then just a little bit of a share me the details moment. And if you have the DVD extras of Avatar, you may already know this, but Sokka's master schedule that he is referencing is actually based off the Avatar production schedule. Okay, it's like the real Avatar production schedule just shrunk down, which is an amazing tidbit. Gotta love those. Gotta love those share me the detail moments.
Assuming that'll fit into Sokka's master schedule.
It's doable, but that means only 2 potty breaks today.
Bend your ear for ad-free episodes with Avatar Braving the Elements Premium.
Subscribe today on Apple Podcasts.